Good morning, dear students. Welcome to Geo class. Today, two interesting topic. First is interlinking of rivers. Second is extent of usability of river water. Both topics you will see it's have a social angle plus आपको ये सोचने पर मजबूर कर देंगे both topics that can be the future of India also. Now, what this topic is all about. First, interlinking of rivers. So, when we are talking about interlinking of rivers, this means that we have to link two rivers by doing some civil engineering, by making some canals, by cutting some areas to join two rivers to form an area under that water. Now, when we are talking about interlinking of rivers, basically it's a, you can say, a large scale civil engineering projects whose aim is to effectively manage water resources in India by linking Indian rivers. Per se, interlinking of rivers are the large scale projects which are proposed by government of India to manage its water resources effectively by linking Indian rivers, by making the networks of canals and reservoir किस चीज के लिए to enhance the irrigation facility in India, to enhance the groundwater recharge in India, to reduce the floods and to deal with the water shortage problem in different parts of the India. What so interlinking of rivers जो है that is a proposed big large scale civil engineering projects हैं जिसमें हम कोशिश ये कर रहे हैं कि जितनी भी rivers हैं उनको स्टडी करने के बाद इम्पैक्ट इन्वायरमेंटल असेसमेंट इम्पैक्ट स्टडी करने के बाद उन्हें लिंक कर दिया जाए ताकि जहां पर there is a deficient of water या where we need the water वहां पर वो water पहुंचे. Now, why there is a need? See, by default, India is not a water poor country. आप कह रहे होगे कि मैं ऐसा क्यों कह रहा हूँ? Why I am saying so? That India is not a water poor country. India में there is a lot of water. You see, Maharashtra, Mumbai is into flood. Assam is into flood. Assam, Bihar is into flood. Even last year, due to Satluj, Punjab was also into the floods. So we have a lot of water which is coming from the rivers itself. But the problem which we are facing here is that when we talking about as a whole India, the water is unevenly distributed. कहीं पर बहुत ज़्यादा water है, कहीं पर water है ही नहीं. So there are rivers in some places and some places don't have rivers. So the government have come up with this plan to link the rivers so that the places which are deficient of water or do not have the water, that places can be linked with the help of rivers. Okay. Now, why we need interlinking of rivers? Because you see that India have almost 18% of world population. हमारे यहाँ पर we have 18% of total world population, but just we have a very less percentage of water resources, world water resources in India. So one of the best solution to solve water crisis in India is to link the rivers and the lake. I hope this is clear to you what is interlinking of rivers. Now, this interlinking of rivers, you will find that government have come with many projects. One of the projects mentioned here is the linking of Kane with Chambal, both are the tributaries of Yamuna. So, Ministry of Water Resources is the source authority for interlinking of rivers, and many rivers are, you can say, started. Even the first interlinking of rivers was done in 2015 by linking the river Krishna with Godavari. Okay, there are many other also. Now, what are the advantages of interlinking of rivers that we have to study, and what are the disadvantage, sorry, of interlinking of rivers? This topic you will find that this is one of the topic which you find in your graduation time, and as well as this can comes in question and answers in your UPSC papers and many other papers which governments are conducting, because they want to analyze your mind how you think about this issue. Now, when we are talking about interlinking of rivers, the advantages are क्या क्या advantages होंगी? So the first advantage is flood prevention. The extra water, the surplus water which is there in suppose Ganga. So if we link that river which are deficient, or we make some canal out of it so that the surplus water, yes, that can go out from the rivers, and it can simply comes out of that, and that solve the problems of floods basically in Bihar, Assam region, and in many other part of the country. So surplus water can be transported to other by linking that river. Good. Then second point, one of the important point is drinking water, to provide drinking water to everyone. Still you will find Bundelkhand region of UP and Madhya Pradesh. The regions still have maximum drought, and the people travel from 5 to 10 kilometers daily to just get a bucket of water to drink. So by interlinking like some of the Kane and Chambal that is nearby to the Bundelkhand region, that will definitely help the people to get access to water easily. Okay. Third most very important point, what are the advantages of interlinking? Second, third is irrigation. So irrigation how? Because you know that in India still farmers are dependent on monsoonal rainfall. Many farmers are dependent on monsoon rainfall. So as we interlink the rivers, then it will provide water throughout the years 24/7, 365 days to the farmers. Ultimately, farmer will not be dependent on the monsoon for irrigation and for water, and this results in improvement and increase in the production and the cultivation of land. We can easily cultivate more land which is not easily irrigated now. So irrigation is also plus point. Now, fourth advantages, navigation. Navigation, because water transport can also be used. We see now that there are national highways like NH1. We also have national waterways. We have 7 8 national waterways. Like first waterway is national waterway 1 is from Allahabad to Haldia in Hooghly Nadi. So this waterways that can be used as the navigation, the channel of transports which can transport the people from one place to another, or that can be used for cargo ships for transporting of the material manufactured good from one place to another. And the one of the advantage of water transport is that the weight, you can even go with the heavy weight material transports can also be done by this navigation. Okay, so navigation can improve by interlinking the rivers. Last and important point is the generation of electricity. So generation of electricity is also play an important role by making dams, by using the turbine technology, we can generate electricity more, which as hydropower is a renewable source of energy, so the dependence on coal and the thermal plants will reduce. So these are some of the advantages of interlinking of the rivers. So you see interlinking of rivers, अगर rivers को हम interlink करते हैं, काफी rivers को जोड़ते हैं, canals बनाते हैं, कुछ सिस्टम बनाते हैं, सो फ्लड प्रिवेंशन हो जाएगी, ड्रिंकिंग वाटर की व्यवस्था हो जाएगी, इरिगेशन फैसिलिटीज हो जाएंगी, नेविगेशन बढ़ सकता है और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रोडक्शन भी बढ़ सकता है. So these are all the positive points of the interlinking of the rivers. Now there could be some negative points also. Now we have to see what are that negative points. Disadvantages are when you link rivers, then then that will ultimately will lead to loss of land forests. Means if you want to link two rivers, you have to cut out the area in between. You have to dug up and make big canals and big you can say channels. Now by picking the soil from that area, ultimately that will lead to loss of land because that land will now be covered under the river. And forest, because there are very high possibility that between that two there are forests, there are cities. You have to plan in such way that the forest should not be uh, impacted. So loss of land and loss of forest ultimately lead to the ecological imbalance in the system. Loss of land, loss of forest, even it can also lead to the loss of birds, animals, and the biodiversity because that will lead to the large scale deforestation, cutting of trees. Okay, so loss of land, loss of forest, deforestation is the same point, ecological imbalance. Now, if you have to make a big canal, then you need a land. So that land can be owned by some people, so that people which will be displaced, that result into the massive displacement of people can be displaced on massive large scale. The government have to plan for the rehabilitation of them, then only that person, that system can work. Okay. Third is financial cost. Government have to also check that what is the financial cost of this interlinking river project. Suppose if the river have a very large financial cost, there is a lot of civil engineering going on and a lot of money we have government have to invest. So first the government have to look the they have to do the assessment whether it is financially viable for them or not, because making or dig up a large area to make a canal, it costs a lot, it will be a very expensive. So we have to go with a very small projects. It is not like that we can easily link Ganga to Kaveri, okay, because that have a very wide, very high financial cost. In 1950, there was a, you can say, just a report that there was a thought by the geographers and the scientists that we should link the Ganga with the Kaveri. So you see, where is Ganga, where is Kaveri? So linking the north to the south. But that was dropped. The project was dropped because of the financial cost of that project, because it will need a lot of money. Okay, so this was about the interlinking of rivers. One of the example you can say the Kane and Chambal River. Okay, the interlinking currents going on, the interlinking of the rivers. Many interlinking projects also have problems like now the Kane and Chambal, what they are facing a problem that this river interlinking is passing from a national forest, national park, which is a also known as the Tiger Reserve in Madhya Pradesh. So if the interlink is done, then The tigers have to be rehabilitated, okay, rehabilitated from there, because almost all the forest will come under the water. So that all are the disadvantages. But overall, the government have to think and assess and come up with this plan to, yes, deal with the advantage disadvantage. Okay. So this was about the interlinking of the rivers. The next important topic and the last topic from this chapter is the extent of usability of river water. So what is the extent? Do we have any limitation, or the water is unlimited and we can use it as any way we want? Okay, so see, water is a life, because plants and animal and human beings cannot live without water. We need water, yes, to ensure the food security. We need water for feed livestock. We need water for industrial production. Yes, we need water for drinking. Here you see that we need water for drinking. We need water for agriculture. We need rivers for fishing. We need waters for generating, we need river for generating electricity for building dams. Here you see we need water for navigation. We need rivers for navigation. So to protect rivers are also very much important. If we want to protect water, we want to protect rivers, both are the same things. To conserve the biodiversity and the environment, we need to save the rivers. Why? Because growing population, we are severely neglecting and we are over exploiting the resources, which ultimately leads to the scarcity of water. One day there will be chances that the reason for war can be water. There could be a water war, because if we are not using the water efficiently and judicially. So it is necessary for all of us to use best way technology to save rivers first. Okay, you know that हमने अभी पढ़ा about the Namami Gange projects, in which the government is planning to revive the Ganga. Almost 20,000 crore rupees are invested to come up with that. But as an Indian citizen, it is also our responsibility not to throw wrappers to the rivers. Yes, to use the water more efficient way. If we are using the river water also, used the drip agriculture, used efficient way, and industrial pollutions should not be sent to the rivers. That water should be treated properly. Sewerage plant should be there. Then after it should comes to the river. Okay. So transferring of surplus water from one basin to another, that also like interlinking of water, that can also solve the problems of water shortage. Now, how we can do that? How we can do that? So there could be a two thing, that government should impose something and we should follow our own also. So imposing some regular measures to prevent the misuse of waters, yes, or introducing the rewards and punishments to encourage the judicious use of water will also help in conserving the river waters. So we need to protect the river water, because you will find that our national aquatic animal, Gangetic dolphin, which is found in uh, Ganga, is suffering from the river pollution. So we have to protect that species also. Then this all we have to see that this all challenges are manageable provided we have good awareness, good orientations to change our lifestyle to conserve water. So if we conserve water, ultimately we will save water. You see that now the government are planning Ganga Action Plan, Yamuna Plan, cleaning the Yamuna at Delhi. You will find all this kind of system, because there is a limitations to river water. So the usability of river water is limited. We should use it in very efficient and uh, you can say judicious manner. Government have to take some actions. Yes, as well as a citizen of India, we should also take some actions which ultimately reduces the river water pollutions, which you can say result into the cleanliness of the water and the saving of the rivers in India, because our economy is dependent on rivers. Okay, so this was it about the extent of usability of river water. This completes the chapter drainage system. Thank you so much.